It's a pretty good crowd of you guys. Thanks very much for coming in to listen to us. I'm not going to put subtitles up on the screen behind me, but just stick with me. My accent does kick in a little bit, and we've already been in town for a few days, so you guys know how it works.
Oh, you sound fine, mate.
We good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
You guys can hear us okay? Thumbs up. Awesome.
All right.
Louder? Hard to hear us? They can't? All right. We'll try to speak a little bit louder, hopefully. All right.
All right, all good?
Let's kick it off.
Cool. Well, guys, thanks very much again for coming into our session today. We're going to talk about some trends in crypto. Pav and I vibe pretty well. We're on a podcast together as well called Tapping Into Crypto, which is a SwiftX podcast.
As you can see, not shy to sit next to each other.
No, that's right. That's right. We get a lot closer than this in the office sometimes. But,
yeah, just got to keep it PG.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. He's married, so don't worry.
It's a thing.
Guys, my name is Tommy Honan. I'm the director of product at SwiftX. SwiftX is one of the largest crypto trading platforms in Australia. We're in New Zealand as well. I guess my journey with SwiftX is up to nearly 6 years now. Business is just over 6 years old as well. And like I said, we're one of the largest platforms in Australia. Web platform, application. If you like something in there, if you don't like it, give us the feedback. That's kind of my job to capture that with my team and take it on and keep growing. Pav?
Yeah, my name's Pav, lead market analyst at SwiftX. And like Tommy said, we've just been in crypto forever. Collectively, about 20 years between the two of us. I'm getting a lot of these ones. Yeah. Yeah. Is that better? No. All right. Well, hopefully, is that any better? All right.
He's just not talking loud enough. Come on, man. Like you're screaming at your kids at home. Like, let's get it going.
I'll just put the dad voice on. But yeah, we're here to talk trends today. Obviously, it's been a lot happening in the last 12 months. A lot that we're hopefully looking forward to in the next 12 months. I don't know, everyone here is probably just absolutely buzzing. This is almost like a pre-100K party as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, let's kick it off.
Cool. All right. Just looking at these slides before we came in, I was like, we won't talk about ETFs because people are sick of hearing about ETFs. We won't talk about meme coins because people have been hearing a lot about meme coins. Has been driving the cycle so far. And then I just remembered my slides are ETFs and meme coins. But anyway, look, we'll try and give you guys something that's a bit different. We're all business, but we do like to take things a bit more lighthearted, and we're all here to have fun this weekend. So that's kind of the theme of the session today. But ETFs are serious business.
They are serious business. Ridiculously serious business. I mean, we see some staggering stats, lots of demand out of even just the US cohort so far since their launch in January. So, I mean, the numbers don't lie. We're seeing more Bitcoin being accumulated by these institutional entities, mainly speaking, than what's being mined. I mean, it's a pretty staggering fact when we look at that as a bit of an arc in itself, in my opinion. You know, we've seen some speculation that the ETF could have been a top. Doesn't really look like it now, does it? So, obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But I think what's exciting for me is I think what the sort of parlay this sets up now with, obviously we're seeing speculation on, the Solana ETF now really starting to kick off. Are we going to see other assets really start to mark up in a similar fashion, in the next 12 months with what we've seen Bitcoin be able to do and achieve? So I don't know, Tommy, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess it's we're always trying to look ahead for what's next in this industry. Like we're never comfortable standing still, that's for sure. It's one of those industries where we're continuously innovating and building. And I guess I was thinking about if I'm in the crowd now and I'm sitting there and like, what do I want to know? What do I want to learn? These guys, collectively, we've been in the market for about 20 years, collectively, between both of our experience. And you're always looking for the next thing. You're always looking for what's coming. And I think the ETF products, while you can ask the question, why should we actually care about ETFs? I want to go on SwiftX or another exchange and buy my crypto directly. There's a number of ways for entry now, and I think what it really signals is a maturity in the market and sophistication in the market. It's additional liquidity. We're seeing institutions now in the US come into the market. Opportunities for 401ks in the US, which is like the superannuation in Australia, to get into the market. And it's just as the liquidity run, and it's additional options is always going to mean more interest and more fun in markets. So that's what we're doing right now.
I'm loving, like, obviously some people here might have seen the IBIT product, the ETF, have that options launched just recently. They've got a put-call ratio of about 0.3, so layman's terms, everyone's just betting on more upside at least until the end of the year, which, we're knocking on 100K. That's not a bad story to be hearing. But really, at the end of the day, like Tommy said, a lot of these institutional players were locked out for so long just due to the complexities of holding crypto. ETF solves that problem. We as a consumer for the first time have been able to actually get in before the institutions have been able to. So congrats to everyone that was able to do that. But yeah, I think as Tommy sort of said, insights for me from this, where we are right now, is like thinking about, well, where's the hockey puck moving next? What's the next ETF? What's the next basket of ETFs? So we haven't even seen a multi-asset ETF yet.
What is it?
Who knows?
You're not going to tell people after they've given you half an hour of their time what the next ETF is going to be?
Well, at this stage, it does look like Solana. But yeah, there's some chatter about XRP, obviously, some great interest happening there. But I would just say pay super, super high attention to that sort of space of what's coming next, in my opinion.
Yeah. Sorry for backing you into a corner in front of 100 people or whatever it is.
That's all right, can't run.
I think, look, at the end of the day, I think we've seen some precedent set with some of the futures products in the US with Grayscale. They've kind of set the started with Bitcoin, went to Ethereum, it's moved into, I think they have 5 or 6 new futures. They're not new anymore, but XRP had one, Solana had one, there might be a few others, Pav, that you know as well. So I guess that kind of sets a bit of a path forward for where we're going. And the market is starting to react now as well. So we still feel like we're pretty early. I know on the exchange side, we feel like the retail crowd is starting to come back, but the volumes are still have a long way to go from where we were in the previous cycle, and we're really excited by that because Bitcoin's at an all-time high, and now Solana's at an all-time high. I've mentioned Solana twice now in the one panel. Pav, you said you'd pull me up if I did that. But it's growing, and it's happening right now in front of us. So the opportunity is right there, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, and just to bring it back to Bitcoin, I mean, just think about it quite simply, right? Limited fixed asset supply. That's why we all sort of are drawn to it as sort of measuring that intrinsic value. If we're seeing this demand arc starting now, it's only going to grow. The amount of new Bitcoin being produced, it's not going to change. So, I mean, it really sets up that supply shock into 2025, I believe at least. So it's good times ahead.
Memes.
My favorite.
Pav is a big meme fan. He does a lot more trading than I do these days. But I'll kick off the meme conversation because I think it's one that has, I think, people on the fence.
Bit decisive.
Yeah, people are on the fence, I think, about memes and what they mean and what they're for. And look, everyone has their own idea or perception. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how I use memes. Personally, me, not SwiftX, just me. I use memes as a way to acquire more Bitcoin. So I think, how do I do that? Essentially, I will trade a market. I will trade any available tool, any available asset. If it's a meme, doesn't matter what it is, but memes are obviously, we've seen huge growth in that area. And I think the question always comes, will memes be around forever? Will we always have memes? And I think we will. Culture changes, people's perception changes, new things come up. That's the beauty of life, right? And I think the way that I use them as trading tools is essentially I will swap my meme gains into my Bitcoin, and that is my long-term conviction play. And a couple of other assets that I might have shortlisted, not financial advice, all that kind of thing. But that's kind of the main way that I use memes. There is a couple of what we would call blue chip memes now. I don't have to call out probably Dogecoin too hard. I think everyone's aware of it. It's got coverage from the new president-elect these days in the news, so it's all very, very exciting to see what's happening there. But I think that's kind of, I guess, just a little insight into how I use memes, and I don't want to sit on them forever. I use them as a tool. Some are good to hold and accumulate a bit longer term, but it's a very small portion of those assets. That's not to throw shade on them, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is whether you like them or not, they've seen significant growth, so kind of, act accordingly, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of people might be still to this day grappling with how is a meme worth anything, right? I'm sure there's plenty of people here hopefully thinking that potentially. But look, at the end of the day, for me, it's, we just have to look at how society kind of values culture, right? Culture, do you see it, stopping tomorrow or in a year's time, 2 years' time? Answer, probably not. So for me, the whole meme coin narrative, it's very much a snapshot of what's happening now, what's in the meta, what are we seeing that people are liking? And right now, it's a dog with a hat. That's just how it is, right? So sometimes it is unfortunately quite hard to grapple and grasp. But at the same time, we are seeing meme coins, probably secondary to maybe infrastructure tokens, lead the charge since 2023. Again, you have to prove the market wrong that there's nothing valuable about a meme coin. And I do still believe that we probably will see a greater rotation out of meme coins across the other thematics in the industry, like AI. We haven't really seen gaming and DeFi really take off at all in a meaningful way. But at the end of the day, when you really boil it down to, I know, Tommy, we probably refer to this quite a bit, crypto is community. We're still an emerging space, very nascent. So meme coins just happens to be a nice little cross-section of culture meets community in a technological way, right? So for me, I think sometimes it is just that simple. And yeah, again, it is sometimes a game of hot potato because you're basically betting on what is a culture. But then at the same time, you also have meme coins starting as memes, but then they're adding fundamentals later on in their stages. So again, not calling it out, financial advice or anything like that, but Bonk is a great example. Started off as a community drop during the absolute pits of FTX and Solana capitulating. And now they've gone on to create Bonkbot, which is basically burning Bonk. So there you have basically something that's adding a deflationary or mechanical element to a meme coin. And then you start to sort of find some pretty interesting trends and ways to build portfolios, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I like about it. Yeah.
Can I get a show of hands for who has ever traded a meme coin, bought one, sold one, done anything with it?
Oh, yeah. One of us.
What are we calling that in percent, Pav?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's nice.
65%? Low. Weak numbers. Need to get those numbers up.
Going to need to double that next year.
Yeah. But all right, what are we on to?
Let's go to the next one.
What's coming next? 12 months. How are we going for time, by the way? We're doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
We got 10 minutes.
Should I kick it off?
Yeah, kick it off.
All right, yeah. I think when we're trying to think about, obviously, where we've been for the last 12 months and what we're looking forward to, I guess, personally for the next 12 months, I think for me, it just comes straight back to fundamentals. And we've seen no greater fundamental event for our industry than the ETFs. So I still think within the next 12 months, we'll see more assets turn into and convert into ETFs. I think that is, again, a trend we're just seeing in the US really start to take off. They are trendsetters. I think it's going to have a broader-based effect in the next 12 months as well. So if you have everyone in the globe putting even 1% into crypto in their portfolios, I mean, we're a tiny, tiny speck in the world. We're like a $3 trillion market now when you look at US equities approaching $300 trillion. So, I mean, just really think about it just very fundamentally like that is almost enough to hopefully get most people aware of, that they got to have some exposure. I also like to think about, I guess, the good and the bad. So I would say in the next 12 months, I'd also expect, the same things we've seen every other cycle, hacks, leaks, all that sort of stuff, just vulnerabilities in essentially projects maybe not creating the most sort of stringent security practices. So just be wary of, how you're using your funds on places like DeFi and even centralized exchanges. Just really make sure you're not overexposing yourself in a single place would be my best advice in that space. But I do think it's something we will see in the next 12 months. Yeah.
I've got to take it a bit of a product direction because
no way.
I didn't, my crew here in the front row would probably be upset with me. But I think we're going to see some pretty cool new products come to market over the next 12 months, as well as, and I think to touch on that, the collateralization of crypto as an asset class, I think is going to be absolutely massive long term. So
Agreed.
At the moment, you could argue you can't really do much with your crypto. If you've got a proof of stake asset, you can stake it and you can earn a yield, which is fantastic. Again, not for everybody. Like, you kind of have to have a certain level of experience and technical know-how to do these things. So again, we're talking about the safety of the new people entering the market, and
Absolutely.
a lot of new retail people. As I said earlier, they're starting to come now, not in the waves that we've seen previously, but it's coming and it's going to happen. So we need to make sure that we're, protecting users as they come through, that everything is safe, secure, and we have education at the forefront of everything that we do. Because we don't want people to have a bad experience. There's a bit of a misconception. Oh, shit, that was loud. Sorry. There's a bit of a misconception at times in market that the crypto exchanges are the big bad wolf in the corner. And I don't understand how that perception happens. Obviously, we've seen some high-profile failures. I get that. No excuses for any of that stuff. And we're part of that. That's part of our community. Now it's part of our story long term, right? But when the customer wins, the exchange wins. And I think that's something to remember. Like we absolutely want to focus on giving customers the opportunities to win. And I think it's just a bit of a point that I've heard labored in different formats, whether it's with just investors, community talking, whether it's regulators talking about it. Like at the end of the day, we do want the customers to win, and that goes for every platform, every exchange. But I want to tell a very quick story about the collateralization when I talk about products and what's coming next. About 2 years ago, I went into the bank to try and get a home loan. And I had a little bit of money saved up like we all do, and I was with the bank manager, and he was running me through the numbers, and I was like, look, the rates are really high. And he's like, oh, do you have any other assets? And I was like, oh, well, I got some assets, but I don't know if you like them or not. So I told him I had some Bitcoin, and it was in a wallet, and told him about SwiftX and my job and everything else. And he was like, oh, well, that's just, it's fake money, and it's not a thing, pretty much, the bank manager told me. And so I was like, look, it's a thing, like it's highly liquid. I can cash it out, I can sell it now, I can do whatever I want. And he didn't believe me. So I said, all right, I was sitting in Combank. I made a sale of Bitcoin for $1,000. It's on SwiftX. Withdrew it back to my bank, and before I finished my sentence, it was in the bank and it had landed in the account. And I showed him on my Combank app, and it blew his mind away, this bloke. And
just a sign of how early it is, right?
He still didn't give me any collateral on my Bitcoin at the time. Like it didn't make a difference, but I just thought it was like kind of one of those suck it to the men type stories. But anyway, my point here is I think crypto collateralization, that story that I just told, that is going to change. And that's going to change through innovative products. Hopefully businesses like ours and many other businesses in our industry are going to bring really cool products like that. I guess think about it from your own perspective, things that you might want to do with your crypto collateral. We know we're here long term. We know it's all going the right direction. We're going to be accruing value long term over time in this thing. So yeah, we got to start thinking about ways we can leverage that and set ourselves up for the future.
No, I agree. And I think there was, I don't know if many people caught it, just even overnight, there's new funds or capital and businesses being set up that are looking to attract current mortgages in the US to their product, where they're basically using Bitcoin as a collateral asset for the next 4 to 10 years of their loan. So these aren't sort of trends that Tommy's talking about that are going to take probably too long to start to develop. And again, this is probably where, again, it comes down to you got to be a bit wary of like new players entering the market as well. But yeah, there's already momentum behind this movement. I think that's a good one that you shouted out.
I think what people want to hear as well is what are the themes, and obviously you've mentioned layer ones. I think you mentioned layer ones. I was talking about gaming assets, gaming and DeFi. I was waiting for this person to ring me for the last hour, and of course when I'm on the panel they have to call me now. Anyway, I think the gaming and DeFi trend is one that's it's on the floor right now.
Yeah.
And some of these projects
NFTs
have spent tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in their projects. They are serious businesses and serious projects that haven't really got the love, I guess, in market yet. That's going to change. I think it's going to change over the next 12 months. Between DeFi is just such a powerful tool when you actually learn how to use it. And again, it's not for everybody. I think there's businesses like ours that actually can bring that home and make it so simple for users that they don't even know that they're interacting with these types of products. But the DeFi economy and the infrastructure that is built in that space is absolutely phenomenal, and that's they're kind of two key areas that I think will see significant growth in the next 12 months.
There's definitely room for disruption. Like, I mean, even just think about when you earn interest at your bank, you're waiting for an end-of-month statement a lot of times. I mean, with these products, we're talking daily compounding. Like, it's stuff that the banks can't even give you. So, yeah, I agree. It's good.
Questions? I think we have about 5 minutes left for questions if anyone is keen. All right.
Hello. I'm very new to this space. So what is meme coin? What is DeFi?
Meme coins are a token that basically represents a meme. So essentially, you can see on this slide, if we go back to meme coin slide, let's look at Dogecoin or Pepe, right? So Pepe, notorious for I guess a lot of people consuming the emojis quota essentially. So it's anything that holds some sort of like cultural significance. It's usually culturally, I don't know, relevant sort of things that are happening get turned into tokens, and then people buy and sell these tokens. DeFi, decentralized finance, we probably should have explained that a bit clearer as well. So we're talking about the traditional finance rails, moving that into less of a centralized where you go to a bank and you do your dealing. You go to more of a decentralized dealing platform where you actually access a peer-to-peer market and you're able to do your lending as well. So basically, in this instance, you know, we could be the lenders and you'd pay us an interest rate as opposed to paying a bank an interest rate. So it's kind of like creating a democratized peer-to-peer network of lending activity. That's hopefully an easy way to explain it.
Yeah, you're talking about collateralization. Is SwiftX going to offer that? Is that what you're saying? Is that going to be part of your platform?
I didn't say that. Look, it's I think it's one of the product lines that we are exploring. Absolutely, like I think every business in this area is interested in that space. There's a huge opportunity both as business and to create that that new opportunity for your customers. There's a couple of products available in the market today. A couple of solid businesses in Australia doing it. Globally, there's a couple of products that do it via a kind of a collateralization of card payments and things like that. But it's an absolute interest area, and it's one that I think I don't think it's been nailed yet, I guess is maybe my point. There's a couple of players doing it, but again, a huge opportunity and an interest area for us for sure.
Thanks, guys. You talked about meme coins and DeFi. Thoughts on future of NFTs or trends?
I think it hasn't taken off yet. I would, if I had to speculate, and I am only speculating, I think as a lot of these layer one tokens start to move into all-time high territory, so we're talking Ethereum, we're talking even like your potentially, like Solana's already there basically, but I think once we start to see that, we're going to attract more people back from potentially last cycle. So when we get the user count back up, I think to more healthy levels, market's seeing momentum, we start to see probably some momentum in some of those gaming assets and NFTs come back, is my opinion. So hopefully that helps. Any thoughts, Tommy?
Hey, gents. What are your thoughts on the new presidency in America and some legitimization coming to crypto from the US? So new presidency, talking about crypto, lots of love for it in the US. We get some legitimate laws and some clarity around. What are your thoughts on what that does for the industry?
Thanks, Chief. Good to have a familiar face in the room. Thanks for that question.
What was the start? Was it?
I just want to know what, with the new presidency change in the US, how that's going to affect the markets. You go.
Strategic Bitcoin reserve is a real thing. I think will definitely pave the way for other countries to do similar things. So again, that just goes down to that limited supply, arc. It's just more and more bullish tailwinds for Bitcoin specifically. I'm hoping, I think it's like the House of Reps and the Senate are now majority crypto sort of supportive. So I think even passing through legislation and changes probably will happen with a lot less friction. I don't know. I'm a big skeptic until it happens, but the promises seem good on the table. Tommy?
If you just think about the potential impact of that, right? Like, so much news comes across your desk and so much information available, especially in this space, it moves so quickly. You think about like the US holding a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Like, it's insane. It really is. I do think it'll happen. I think the model has already been tested. We see countries like El Salvador have done it, put them on the map. People are migrating there now. Like, again, the US probably want the opposite of that. We won't get into that conversation. But I think the model has been tested, and I think we'll just continue to see growth. The dominoes will fall, right? Germany are getting a bit of flack at the moment over selling their...
I was just going to say it.
Yeah.
So people that missed it, Germany sold, what was it, like $5 billion or $10 billion?
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, the Bitcoin and...
At about 50 grand, wasn't it?
Yeah,
50
they
US.
sold at the bottom of the market so far this year, so...
Yeah. So,
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's going to be
guys,
interesting
last
if we
question.
see Germany come back in and start acquiring over 100K to build their strategic reserve, but we'll see.
Last one.
I think we're getting one more question
more
if anyone's
question.
keen.
Hi guys. What are your thoughts on real-world asset tokens and the potential for those to become a product that's traded on SwiftX? So thinking real estate as an example, or money market funds, carbon credits, that sort of stuff. What are your thoughts?
I'm a big fan of if they're able to tokenize things like bonds. So it'll enable money, in my opinion, to flow into the crypto space and not leave it. Because right now we have this like liquidity vacuum that once the market's done running, there's no reason for there to be stable coins in crypto. I'm going to go put that back in the bank. So all of a sudden, you're seeing players like BlackRock start to issue new, innovative, disruptive ways that they can basically collateralize, not collateralize, I keep saying that word, fractionalize, 10, 5, 30, short end and long end of the curve yield bonds to a decentralized, marketplace where anyone in the world could essentially access US debt. I don't think the US is going to hate that. People buying their debt. So that is actually something I'm very, very keen on seeing evolve as a space. Ondo Finance, if anyone wants to look into it, they're kind of like pioneering that space so far, got the most amount of funding definitely. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the real world asset tokenization space is, we don't know enough about it yet, I guess, but it is absolutely going to be a growth area over the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years. There's a lot of building happening. There are some products coming to market, more institutional facing products, but I think that the opportunities are endless, right? We hear about things like tokenization of property, cars, like anything you can think of. I think some of the use cases you've heard are kind of like, why would you even do that? Like, it doesn't really make sense. But property is a really good one. I think obviously all the Aussies in the room were infatuated with property markets and everything else in this country. It's been a huge opportunity for a lot of people. But yeah, I think continued growth in that area. We are still very early in that space, but it's going to be interesting to see how it lands over the next 5 years. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. I think that's us.
That's us.
If you want to follow us, we're both on Twitter or X now. Come check us out at the SwiftX booth, meet our team. Tapping into Crypto is our podcast as well. It's on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, so you can listen to a little bit more of this stuff. We got our another colleague of ours, Ted, as well, is on the podcast, so it's usually pretty entertaining. But thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.